England and Wales has the worst teenage pregnancy rates in Western Europe, 6 times higher than Holland and 3 times that of France. One of the most affected areas is in Lewisham, South London.
I think that teenage pregnancy is kind of getting out of hand, because recently there's a 13-year-old who became a father, and I think from when like a 13-year-old can become a father, that's just showing that society is becoming, not saying not even more accepting, it's just like people are becoming very more, I'll say promiscuous, because why do you need to be having sex when you're 13? It's just not necessary.
The little boy was 13. Oh, I'm 13, I've had a baby, now I'm going to get my own house. Now, what do you think they're telling all the other 13-year-old boys to go
Let's
and
go
do?
and have a baby, we get our house too, innit?
You see what I mean?
They don't realise, I don't think, that they think they're pregnant for 9 months and it disappears, but it's there forever and ever. Even when you get to 30 and have babies, they're there forever. When are you ever ready for babies, really?
Give them a handful of condoms without telling them, well, we don't want you to use all these condoms, but they are there in case you're gonna. You know, but if you give a young boy, a 17-year-old, 10 condoms, he wants to get rid of them 10 condoms as quick as possible and come back and go, well, can I have 10 more? Do you understand what I mean?
I don't understand the problem. If you're 16 or if you're 26, what's the difference in someone being pregnant in that age? You know, everyone's different. If a 16-year-old gets pregnant, and they're more than capable of handling a baby, you know. There's plenty of support, as I spoke about. No, I don't really find it as an issue, you know. You've got to regenerate the population somehow. And if you're young, what can you do? You started young.
No one person or no one media can make it better. Whether black, white, pink, Indian, what a which nation, we all have to come together under one umbrella and get it sorted out.
Within Britain, there is a stereotypical view of young mothers and how they are portrayed by the media. An inside view aims to illustrate the reality of young motherhood.
It's not working now, is it?
I had my child at 16, which is my daughter. It was a shock at first, and I was able to think about what I'm doing and make a conscious decision that to have my child will be the best thing for my future. They make out that young teenagers are not mature enough to manage children, and there's been a couple of shows that show that teenagers are mature enough to handle responsibility at a young age, and children is a second nature to them, especially women, because we're all mothers now or later in life, and I find that the media does portray a bad image to us, because there are successful stories, and I believe I am one, and I still will be climbing in my success. Especially with the boy who's 13, who's got a 15-year-old girl pregnant. I mean, that's an extreme case.
The most recent story is obviously the story of the young 13-year-old father. To be perfectly honest, that caused a real stir amongst the young people in the school, because they thought it is outrageous that anybody could be a father at such a young age. And it really was the parents who sold the story to the media. Nobody would have known about it otherwise. It would have been the same as any other young person that had a child at that age. It's just the media blowing it up out of all proportion.
They've made it such a big issue because of the age, but not of the actual situation. Because people tend to forget whether you're 16 or 25 or 35, whatever the 16-year-old experiences during pregnancy is the same thing a mature woman would experience. But I think they just have a problem with the age, but not with the actual pregnancy of the girl. So I think they portray it in a very negative, cold way. I believe that they could, there's a way that they could show people that yes, you may be pregnant at a young age, but life will continue for you.
I think the media does sensationalise teenage pregnancy. If you look at all the statistics, the number of actual people that have children at a very early age, under the age of 16, is very, very small. In the borough of Lewisham last year, only 8 out of 6,000 pupils, school-age pupils, had a child under the age of 16. So it is really just a way of selling newspapers and to scare people.
I believe they could address the issue by being a lot less negative and try and show the positive sides of actually having a child, because even I've got friends of my own who had children when they were young, but now they're women who are going to university, such as myself, who live and work and continue with life.
Hannah King works at Clyde Early Childhood Centre and is an outreach worker giving support and advice to young mothers in Lewisham.
We work with the parents, we talk with teenage mothers. I go out to see parents and talk to them about what we've got to offer here at Clyde, and I try to get hard to reach parents. I do groups, 3 quality groups a week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, where parents come with their children and have a go at the activities we've got and mix with other parents, and we help and support them in any way they might need.
I would say I received help from obviously my GP and everything, but really on the other half, like with the home visitor who comes to you after you've given birth, they came and saw me once. Well, I don't know whether it's because they believed I was coping well, or maybe they just thought that's enough for a visit, but actually I would say the rest I found out for myself when I was back in school. It was a lot different. You'd have somebody come in, I think from the NHS, and they would show you quite a few things to do. They wouldn't exactly explain to you how to abstain from having sex. They would actually show you how to go in that direction.
For example, when I first started teaching, we didn't really go into relationships until year 9. Now we talk about relationships in year 8, and we begin to talk a little bit about what is appropriate and what isn't appropriate even in year 7, because it has, young people are changing and they do tend to start relationships at a much earlier age now. Any pupil that does find them in that situation, we have a large support system. We have teenage advisory teacher that sort of works with pupils one-to-one to deal with any issues that they have. The borough have their own support system that are out there so that parents can get advice and pupils can continue with their education, get any benefits that they might be entitled to. So the school is very inclusive and tries to keep pupils in school as long as possible so that they do get their education, and also help them to return to school as well.
There's a lot of single mothers who are big successful businesswomen. Having a child early has gave them a drive and a passion to achieve more for their kids and for themselves, and in that respect they want to have a better life, they want to have a house, or they want to have a car instead of living in a council property that the government gives them. It's not always that way.
You do give birth, and yes, you do get certain benefits to help you with the upbringing of your child, but at the same time, for the things like the housing, even if, like for myself, I am on the housing list, but you must remember that there's people who have been on there for 10 years, so they're not exactly going to rush me to the top of the list because I've had a child.
I just think that society needs to be softer on us, because we are stepping up, we are making sure that our children are safe, they're looked after responsibly, and we give them the best chance.